I see it, they cuffin' before they bread straight. Shorty, a head case, cool but a headache. On the way I see it, you not focused, you dead weight. Ain't got no time for that, nah, ain't got no time for that. I'm really on my grind, but they really ain't understanding me. Streets is mine, turn it up a notch, make it burn just like the third degree.
Yo, I always wanted to say this, so previously on Heat Raid.
Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Pat. I'm a little upset because Alex was gonna talk. He talked about these already. You know, as y'all know,
a bunch of different Jordans put together. One thing about us sneakerheads, we hold on to all of our sneakers. I think these.
All right, 2016 pair. The other though.
Can't.
This is 2016, 15. The band one re-release. These two are must. If you're listening out there, these are musts in a rotation.
If y'all didn't know, I think I said it at the beginning of the video, but my man Pat, he's from Houston, and he just recently moved to New York. So let me ask you a question, man. What's the difference between, because I've never traveled up north. I've traveled like to Chicago, but I've never been to New York personally. So what's the difference in like the style as far as the shoe game goes, man? Because, you know, down here, we see a lot of people, like from where I'm from in New Orleans, you know, we see people with the G Nikes and, you know, they're going to wear a Dickie suit with it. So how does gonna flex up there in New York? How that work?
Man, so I'll be honest, man. Just like Russ said, I recently moved out here this past December, actually, so it's still fresh. I mean, and I feel like I moved at the wrong time. I mean, I'm isolated inside and, you know, quarantined, and I can't really do much. But for the couple of weeks that I've been here since December, you know, visited multiple times before then, which gave me, you know, the reason for the move. It's crazy, man. I will say, like, you know, people have this, you know, idea of New York kind of being, you know, super cool or dirty or whatever it is, right? But I will tell you, New York City is literally a melting pot, just like Houston is, of just different culture, right? And it's so crazy just because, you know, New York Fashion Week is a thing here, and, you know, and there's just so many kids and adults that, like, believe it or not, it don't matter if you're going to the grocery store, if you're going to a fashion show, the movies, everyone out here, if you're in the right neighborhood, if you're in Soho, or if you're chilling in the Lower East Side in LES or anything like that, everyone's got their flyest suit on, man. So they always got the kicks fresh, make sure the threads are on point. And man, and believe it or not, the cool thing I like about it a lot is that, you know, they stay true to the culture as far as like respecting OG, keeping it classic. You know, because they don't really need to have the super high-end sneakers, right? But the threads are on point, you know, but they can style it up with a nice pair of, you know, white Air Force Ones, right? And just do it that way. And like, that's the one thing I do respect here, man. You got 13-year-old kids out here that got rich mommy and daddies, you know what I'm saying, with the fly, you know, threads on. They got the Sakai flannels and the, you know, the nice denim, super, you know, Saint Laurent denim with just a ice white pair of Air Force Ones or some bread ones. And they probably beat, because I feel like nowadays the shoes look better when they're worn.
Yeah, you know.
And brings me to another, like, again, like these right here. These have been my beaters since moving out here, you know, off-white blazer, but just something that looks good, dirty, that looks good, clean. And that's just what it is out here, man. It's crazy that, you know, and that's the thing I like about sneakers. You can express yourself, right? You could be, you know, in a tux, and you could throw some G Nikes if you would, right? And be fly. I think everybody remembers boys used to go to prom back in the day with them Jordan 11s on. You know what I'm saying? Like, those were good times. So, like, definitely talk about it. And another shoe that I kind of want to talk about, respecting OG, I know Alex talked very highly of this guy, Virgil. Right here, we got the Off-White 5. And I can't help but to tag team it with him and talk about him, man. Like, Virgil is another good dude doing good things for sneakers. Hate if you want. He only, all the hype beasts wanted, yada yada. But the one thing about this particular shoe that excited me when it dropped, and that made me think I gotta have it, and it is fairly new, but people don't know that he actually chose the Jordan 5 metallic colorway, the OG, right? The metallic colorway. It is a little different. It's not, with the netting on the upper and everything like that. But he said he wanted to do a Jordan 5 because that was the very first Jordan that he ever owned. And people don't know that. And that's why he decided to do that in the same, metallic colorway. Favorite thing about this, I know on the last episode, y'all were talking about ice in the soles.
Yeah.
And for me, I love that he did this yellow,
already
accent
yellow
on the bottoms. Exactly. Because I do hate the blue tint though. I never liked the blue tint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like back when the Space Jams in 09, they did it right. It was that clear bottom.
Yeah.
Before that, and then I remember the next year was Cool Gray. They went with the blue tint. They can keep that. Nike, keep that. We don't want that. So for him to kind of keep it true to OG and yellow those soles to give it that character, because for me, I think that was the biggest thing before the Concords re-release when 2001 was the year and they came out. I think that was a cool thing that when those soles would yellow, it gave it character. Now the mesh, the upper had to be clean for sure, but
Oh yeah.
if it wasn't, that yellow did not hurt me. I always thought that was a cool little character, hint of character on your shoe. So I love that Virgil kept it OG with the Nike Air on the back.
Oh yeah, I heard some people they would yellow their soles before they even wear their shoes on purpose, just so they can have that yellow on it.
I mean, I feel like that's definitely something that would happen. I mean, like, again, like the best thing about shoes that when, mom would, always be like, yo, what is it? Like, I thought this was just a phase for you. I thought shoes was just something you wanted to do in high school because you wanted to be fresh and you wanted to be fly for the shorties at school and yada yada. And it's like, yeah, I mean it is, but man, I guess this phase never grew out. But the best thing about shoes is what I was trying to tell her is like you can express yourself and you might not be an artist, but just the way you feel, the way you can customize, the way that you can accessorize sneakers. I tell people all the time, I pick the shoes before I pick my outfit. What shoes am I gonna wear tomorrow? And then I, you know what I'm saying?
Preach to the choir.
I put that, you know what I'm saying? That's how I've been since I can remember. I mean, I got into sneakers. I would say probably like 7th grade. Back in the day, 7th grade. I remember, Nelly recently dropped Air Force One on the radio, and everyone was, you couldn't keep them in the store. But honestly, I think that was the beginning as far as me seriously taking it serious, getting on Nike Talk and Soul Collector Marketplace, and kind of just seeing who's selling what and read up on different designers.
You bought up Soul Collector.
Man, I'm telling you, man.
People don't even remember that.
They don't remember, bro. These kids don't remember East Bay magazines when they would. I'll be circling all the shoes that I'm gonna own, knowing damn well my mom wasn't gonna buy them for me.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, man, I'm telling you, it's crazy that how far we've come, and years later, right? Like we still find this happiness when we cop a new pair of kicks, and it's something that I can't explain. Like my girl probably thinks I'm crazy sometimes because I'll pull it out the box and just like look at them and bust out smell the leather on it, and it's like, man, they should make a candle out of this, like that's like the best scent that you could, it's just like takes over your whole body. Like that's how exciting, I get when I get a pair of shoes that I've been wanting to have, or copping Grail that you didn't think you'd own, things like that, but going back to it, man, it's just something that I've always enjoyed for a long time.
Real life, man. You got what you got? You got one last shoe? What you got? Let me see what you got.
Let's see. Actually, let me show this one. This is actually a go-to here in New York. The Sakai waffle. Again, going back to like going online and researching and stuff, I can tell you right now that I didn't know much about Sakai back then. 7th grade, but that's the research that I was doing, learning about these Japanese brands and the collaboration that they do with, Nike, Nike being my favorite brand, and I think that's a cool shoe to talk about, just because, again, they kind of did a mashup of the Nike Waffle, the OG, with kind of a newer design, new concept of merging two different shoes in one, kind of like the Union.
Yeah.
So I think that's super cool, to be honest. And that's another shoe that I definitely like to keep in the rotation as well. What else do I got? I think I got one more. I guess I can show these real quick. Again, Virgil, going back, staying true to the OG. A lot of people don't know, a lot of these shoes, the Dunk Pack, I have the green one, I think, in the closet. A lot of these shoes, these dunks that came out are actually inspired by a Dunk High Pack that came out back in the day, and these were supposed to be the UNLVs colorway. So that's why you have the gray and the red, and then of course you have the Michigans, which were the midnight and the gold, and then the pine green was just a take on the OG pine green Dunk High.
Oh yeah.
So that's another one that I definitely like to talk about, just because, again, respecting OG is kind of my biggest thing. I mean, not even shoe related, you always respect your elderly, you always respect the OG on the block, at the crib, it don't matter, you always respect. So I love that Virgil is, paying homage to OG and keeping it true with, his designs. They're going somewhat, not always, but circling back to something that inspired him as a kid, as a designer. So him doing a Jordan 5, him doing a Dunk Low in colorways of OG Dunk. I think that's something to speak about that really, really keeps me going, because, again, everything circles back around, and shoes is a great way to talk about, back then. Like, again, we can all talk about stories about how we got these shoes and this, and I've met a lot of cool people during, through sneakers, and I think that's why I won't stop. I won't, I definitely, I've made some money, I've lost some money, so there's a lot of trials and defeat with sneakers. Everyone's taking an L on sneakers app. But it's like a just rewarding and like almost like gambling at times. You get that rush, sometimes you get that itch to buy a new pair of kicks. So, I'm not into drugs or anything like that, but I guess if shoes is a drug, then I'm an addict, something that's always going to be a part of me.
Real life, man. Well, I appreciate you, man. I might split this video into a part 2 and make people wait for the part 2. Because this was a lot of information that you gave us, man. I appreciate you allowing us to semi-raid your closet. You got some heat. Allow us to.
When I move back home, I'm gonna invite you to the crib and we can do it again.
Oh yeah. But y'all heard it, man. This is Pat. He let us come through. He let us virtually come through into his household, and this is just how we do it here at Heat Ray. So stay tuned to the next episode. I think I'm gonna break this up into like 2 parts. So if you are getting to the second part, I appreciate it, and we'll see you on to the next episode. So
wash your hands, y'all.
Definitely wash your hands. Stay inside.
Peace.
All right, man.